want to get back to the topic I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. And basically, I want to talk about people cannot engage in a basic conversation. And it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're educated. It doesn't matter if they're high school dropouts. It obviously doesn't even matter if they're cuckoo, right? And what I mean by that is you can't even say a simple hello to somebody without them spiraling out of control. Um, Let me give you an example. I was just at the coffee shop and I was working, doing some stuff on the computer. I look over next to me to the girl and I just asked her a quick question. I said, how do you like the coffee? And she said, great. And she said it super fast. Her whole body shut down. It was like it was closing in. And then I kind of turned the other way just to work on the computer again. And then I look over, she's packing up her bags and she's leaving. And I'm thinking to myself, did I cause that? Was that me? And I started thinking about this. I said, this is not, this is not the first time this has happened. I've seen this, not only with myself, but I've seen it with other people, with interactions. And I think this is a real big blind spot when you look at society today. They're really not expecting to interact with anybody. And I think this is a real big problem when you look at college graduates today. They may get the degree, but they simply do not have the interpersonal skills. Now you have to imagine this girl. She's probably sending out a bunch of applications. She's probably trying to get hired, right? She's busy. I get it. But you have to ask yourself, if this is the same person that could fold up like that from a simple hello, do you not understand, or do they not realize that the employer is probably picking up on those same traits? How are you supposed to command or manage a group of working professionals when you can't even say hello to somebody without your body locking up? And this is what I'm saying is people are not able to be social anymore. They just don't have the interpersonal skills. And a lot of that has to do with social media. I think we're so used to being on phones that we really don't have the instinct or the reflex anymore, I'll put you that way, to have a free-flowing conversation. Everything's got to be curated. Everything's got to have the right response. Nobody wants to say anything wrong. I'm a little older guy, but let me tell you, I've been around since America Online, so I know what it's like to actually type on a keyboard and have a real-time conversation with somebody. And you could have that back in the day, it was not a big deal to type back and forth live with somebody for an hour or two at a time and have a free-flowing conversation. Now with the phones and text messaging, you don't really have that anymore. You might be able to text somebody, but the response may come back 5 minutes later. It could be 5 hours later. There's no free motion. There's no free energy in the conversation or the exchange. So there's a lot of things that can go through the cracks. And I think this is what people are not understanding. They're not understanding that you really can't communicate unless you have the real picture of the nuance, but it also has to be flowing at the same time, because conversations lose track after a while. People barely remember what they're saying 2 minutes into a conversation, let alone you're responding 5 hours later like, I don't even know what you're talking about at this point. So what I'm saying is this, is a lot of people are basically relying on their phones. They're hiding behind screens. People aren't able to just have basic interaction anymore. People are closed off. And I don't know how to say it, but I would imagine that if these same people were to go back 30 years, let's say in the 90s, these educated people were to go back 30 years in the past, like a Back to the Future kind of thing, they would probably be looked at as odd. I'll just put it that way. Those people would probably be highly amazed that these same people are degree holders and are possibly even running business and corporations. They would be highly surprised at that. And what I'm basically saying is that these college educated, they're not being educated on basic interactions. They don't know how to they don't understand, hey, your image is everything. You have to have a right posture. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the perfect guy, because I'm not. But I do know that there's certain things you have to do in order to be presentable. And a lot of times they just don't understand that. They just don't understand it. You know, I was watching a video with this girl, I guess she graduated, and she had tattoos all over her forehead. And she literally did not even know why people weren't calling her back. And it's like, do you not realize you have things on your forehead that people possibly may not want to have you interact with people? But I think what I'm saying is that people are in their own world. They're not understanding the world around them. People are basically getting more and more into a bubble. They're just not reflective. They don't know. They don't have the natural instinct to catch on to something right away. And it's just basically gone. And it's kind of sad, because there's going to be a lost generation out there of opportunity. You know, that's just all I can say about that.